The Muqasid Tafsir.
Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end? Pursuing the higher aim, learning the meaning of every page. Where should I begin when I'm starting at the end? Assalamu alaikum. Sunnahfollowers presents a new class, the Muqasid of Tafsir, being taught and brought to you by Ustadah Laila Nasheeba. Please stay tuned, streaming on all major platforms, right here on channel Sunnahfollowers. Assalamu alaikum. Get to know your Lord. First part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. This dynamic literary work of art's main goal is to revive an understanding the names and attributes of Allah. And understanding the name and attributes of Allah will elevate our faith, strengthen us, and keep us steadfast. This wonderful book is now available in an audiobook format and can be found free of charge on YouTube, channel Karim Abu Zaid. Get to know your Lord. You have nothing to lose. You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah by your side, is a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through.
In alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulallah. I want to welcome everybody to our first class for tonight, which is our Aqidah class. And we are studying from the book entitled Get to Know Your Lord. And again, this book is written by Sheikh Karim. No, not Get to Know Your Lord. This is Diluting Wala, Bara, Volume 2. And this book, the whole series is written by Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid. And I strongly, strongly encourage everyone to go to Amazon.com. This whole series should be a part of every English speaking Muslim's library, because I have not seen any series that details the meaning of La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah in detail as Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid has done in this series. So much so that this is now part of the Sunnahfollowers curriculum. So you need to buy all three of the books, because we'll be teaching it over and over and over again here at Sunnahfollowers. When I'm done with this, we'll go back to the book, Get to Know Your Lord, which is the first of the series, so we can re-examine what it means to believe in Allah. So the book is $19.99. Please purchase it. All the money that you spend buying these books will go to help keep SafauSA.org, which is an online Islamic school from grades kindergarten through 12th grade, accredited school that Sheikh Karim Abu Zaid has put together. You'll be able to keep the tuition down, inshallah, so you can homeschool your children, because nowadays we're living in a world where it's just not safe anywhere. You know, and by the way, my class, The Signs of the Last Hour, that will be tonight. And remember, one of the signs one of the signs of the last hour is trust will disappear from the heart of man to the point where you will not be able to find any Muslim who's trustworthy, any Muslim who you can trust your property with. That's what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said you have to travel to a different city in a different place altogether to find someone that you can trust and trust your property to. And your children are part of your property. And we have a terrible, terrible, terrible epidemic going on here in the West. It's going on in the East too. It's been going on there. But I can speak about America. The Prophet ﷺ said we Muslims would imitate the non-Muslims in everything they do. Just like you send your non-Muslim child to the Catholic school and you find out that your children are being sexually molested by the priest. Well, that's happened here for us in America too. We have so many reports. I personally have many women who have come to me in my website and have told me how their children they entrusted their children to go to a Muslim school, thinking that they would be better there than in the Kafir school. And they find out that the children were molested or abused, degraded, bullied, just as bad as if they had been in the Kafir school. So what was the difference? The child is seeking therapy. The child is messed up for life. So we're living in those days of fitan that lead up to the war against Islam, which is happening now anyway. So I'm telling you guys, the Prophet ﷺ said it would be so bad that the best thing you can do is take your property and go to a mountain, live alone by yourself on a mountain somewhere. Well, I put in there homeschooling your children. And then even in our homes, our children are not 100% safe because we got a lot of molestation going on inside the homes too. But as far as seeking an education, your home is better for you. So please buy these books because that money will help to keep the tuition low at safausa.org, which is an international online home school where your children can get a secular education and also learn aqeedah, learn what it means to believe la ilaha illallah in the comfort and safety of their home with you. You parents, you women, there to protect them. That's your job. As a Muslim woman, it's your job to protect your children. Your job to protect your children. Just like it's your husband's job to protect you, it's your job to protect them. And another one of the signs of the last hour, the Prophet ﷺ said gender roles will become reversed. Women will end up taking on the role of men. And that's what's happening. You're working. You're out making money. You shouldn't be working. Stay at home with your children to teach them this religion and protect them. Let your husband work. Let him work 10 jobs if he has to, because that's what he was created to do. The man was created to provide and maintain. If y'all need more money, you need 2 incomes, go get 2 jobs, Aki. One of the, I order Starbucks every day to be delivered because I don't have the time, y'all know, to go out and buy it because I'm always teaching or streaming. Today, when I ordered my Starbucks, a man brought it to me, I opened the door. Thank you. He said, "Oh, assalamu alaikum, Sister Laila. How are you?" I said, oh, walaikum salam, you're Muslim. He said, yes. He said, I love your classes. He said, I listen to you. Wife used to work. He said, my wife, wallahi, he told me this today. My granddaughter was here. He said, my wife used to work, and I know what's going on. I know what's going on in the Muslim schools. He said, not just in Texas. He said, right here. I said, where we live? He said, right here. He said, so I told my wife to quit her job, and she quit. I told her, you stay home. You stay home with the children. He said, and I already signed up for Kareem Abu Zaid. He knows Kareem Abu Zaid because Kareem Abu Zaid has been here giving lectures. And they got flyers here. One of the masjids where I live, Masjid Uqba, they're always passing out flyers, advertising his home school too. He said, I got a flyer from Masjid Uqba. He said, and I told my wife, called them. We're trying now. I go sign. He said, I signed my kids up for Safa USA. He said, it's not just Texas. He said, it's right here where we live too. He said, you can't trust your children with anyone. And then he told me, thank you, Sister Laila, for speaking out. He said, thank you, Sister Laila, for speaking out. And then he reached in his pocket, guys, and he gave me a $20 bill. I said, excuse me, what's this for, Aki? He said, I'm paying for your Starbucks for you, because I always order two. I said, wait a minute, I already paid for it. He said, for the next one, your next two are on me. He said, but thank you. Thank you, Sister Laila, for speaking about this problem that other Muslims don't want to speak about. He said, our children are not even safe in the Muslim schools. He said, it's happening everywhere, not just in Texas, even here where I live. A child ain't safe no more, guys. You sisters, you know, we have to stop getting things twisted. Don't get it twisted. That's one of the signs in the last hour. The gender roles will be reversed. Women taking on the role of men. You sisters got to stay home, take care of those kids, monitor those kids. That's one of the rights that the children have on you. One of the rights that the children have over the parents is to be protected. You're failing your children. And then you hear years later when your child is 20 years old and left Islam, and yet then one day you ask them, why did I raise you Muslim? And they tell you I was being molested. You sent me to this Muslim school and this teacher was sexually molesting me. And I was afraid to tell you. Or I tried to tell you, but you were busy working overtime. You were too busy arguing with Abu. You know, we have to get back to the basics of Islam, guys. The traditional Islam. You sisters, y'all got to stay at home. If you want to get a job, work from home. Take up medical coding and billing. Let me give you sisters a clue. A good profession that pays good money. You can start off making $75,000 a year here and end up making over $100,000 is medical coding and billing. And it's an online course. It only takes 2 years. 2 years to get that certificate in medical coding and billing. They will give you a computer and everything, and you work from home. You only have to go to a meeting once a month. Once a month. So if you sisters want to work, that's a good profession to learn. Medical coding and billing. And you can work from home. That's what my girls are doing. The ones that are not nurses. And I always tell you women, become a nurse. Because a nurse can work from home too. A nurse you can make your hours however you want. The nursing field is so whatever. And they need nurses, and they're going to always say you can make your schedule however you want it to be. Where that way you can protect your children. We have to think about it as Muslim women. Our job is the children. The prophet said every one of us is going to be asked about those who we were guardians over. You are the guardian over your husband's property and his children. You don't fail your kids, sisters, because you're trying to chase this dunya. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said all these calamities that befall us as a ummah will be because we're too busy chasing this dunya. All right. So please buy the book. All the books of Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd. Don't be a cheapskate and go for an online copy. First of all, an online copy is not the same as holding it in your hands. You guys know there's nothing like touching a book, feeling a book, smelling the papers, being able to turn it. You can't replace that with a telephone or with a Kindle. Buy the books. Make them a part of your library so you can sit down with your children and discuss what belief in Allah entails. And they can see it and hold it in their hands. As human beings, we're motivated and driven by our senses: touch, feel, taste, and sight. Don't understand that? The more senses that we use, the more motivated we become and the better benefit we get from whatever the thing is. Everybody understand that? And so today what we're going to do in this class, yesterday we spoke about how every day of our lives as a Muslim is going to be spent either showing allegiance to Allah and his prophet and this religion, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or distancing ourselves from what's going to stand between our relationship with Allah, the prophet, and this religion. And we talked yesterday about how Allah tried to help us in that with those 5 pillars. The second pillar being the prayer. Why is it that we Muslims pray 5 times a day? Allah spaced those prayers perfectly, strategically, for a reason, so that we never forget our purpose in life, that we never become too consumed with this dunya, that we forget what our roles are as husband, our roles are as wives. Those prayers are strategically placed throughout the day to allow us to glorify Allah, to praise Allah, to thank him for the good things that we experience during the day. And also to remind us of his punishment should we give in to our desires during the day. Well, today I'm going to give you another example, and this class is going to be very important, and I will make shorts of this. Today, we're going to speak about how even when it comes to our choices in eating, how we implement allegiance and disassociation. And I'm going to answer the question that many of you Muslims have. And I want y'all to pay attention because there will be a quiz after the day's lecture. What's the difference between halal and Zabihah? We're going to talk about that because this is another issue. As the man who delivered my Starbucks today shared with me, he said, do you know, sister, in the community here, they're still arguing. They're still debating about what's lawful for us to eat in regards to the meat. And he asked me, he said, Sister Laila, I would love if you address that. My wife would love if you address that. I told him, well, subhanallah, that has already been addressed in the book, Diluting Wala Bara by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd. He knows him because he's a member of the mosque that always brings Kareem here. I said, and I will be discussing it tonight. This is part of the curricula for tonight's class. I'm going to break down. I hope the brother's listening. I know he's door dashing because this man works 3 jobs. He's an engineer. Check it out. And he's an accountant. Check it out. He keeps the accounts for the mosque down the street. And he's a door dasher. He said he made his wife quit working. I live in a high class suburb. You know, the median here is what? What's the median here? Carmetta, what, 60, 70,000? The median here where you make is $70,000 a year on up. So this is high class. Oh, so you got to have 3 incomes. He made his wife quit working so she can be at home and homeschool her kids and teach them the deen. And he's working 3 jobs. Door dashing is one of them. And he keeps accounts, he say, with the mosque down the street. But anyway, I thought it was amazing that he asked me this question about what's halal and Zabihah, because that's the class for today. So, brother, this is for you, and this is for your family. And may Allah bless you with the best of this world and the hereafter. And may Allah forgive you and your wife of your sins. Ameen. And I hope your wife is listening. I want her to know I am proud of you. That was a big sacrifice you made, because his wife's a professional, but she gave up her professional job to be at home with her children because of what's going on in the Muslim schools. Sad. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And may Allah bless you, bro. Oh, where was he from? He's Arabic. Oh, this sister lives here. Yeah, you know, a lot of Arabs live here in this city. Yeah, and this is my suburb. Yeah. Yeah, you know which mosque. Yeah, she says she knows the mosque. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was Arabic. You know, it's a lot of them. I'm going to tell y'all something. I am so proud. This is for all the Muslims here where I live that's listening. I'm so proud of you, brothers, because I noticed when I do, because ever since I had my total knee replacement surgery, I don't go out shopping, because if I got to buy a lot of stuff, I live up on the 3rd floor. I got to walk up 3 flights of steps. You know, that's too much for me. So if I got to have some intense, I need cat litter, cat food, that stuff is heavy. Toilet paper, Bounty and all that stuff. I door dash it. I Instacart. And I am so proud to see that a lot of the Instacarters are Muslim men here in my city where I live. And I'm proud of you brothers, that you brothers are professionals, because I know what the median is of income here. Y'all professionals. This ain't no trailer park suburb. Ain't no hood. You brothers are door dashing and Instacarting to take care of your families. That's going to be a blessing for you on the day of judgment. And may Allah bless you, brothers, for that. I'm proud of y'all. Keep doing it. And you sisters, get your roles together. Stop being in love with that falloose. Take your seat at home, sister. All right. Okay. Let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. Yeah, that's my little talk for today. Yeah. I got some people here that live where I live. I know these sisters here. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if Latifah's in here or not. I think Carmetta's in here. I don't know if Latifah's in here. Carmetta is, though. Okay, let me put this down, guys. Hold on. Yeah, we know each other. Okay, let me we'll talk about it in the Zoom room. Right now, let me do the class, y'all. Yeah. This is y'all. Yeah, we know each other. Same community, inshallah. Okay, let me put this PowerPoint up. By the way, for the children, because school's out for the summer and the kids are watching on the TV, make sure that your parents or you have your cell phone to screenshot the PowerPoint. There will be a quiz today, And I want all of my Sunnah follower kids to know what's lawful for us to eat when it comes to meat and what isn't. Because this is a debate that we Muslims in 2024 shouldn't be having. Like I told the brother, why are the Muslims in the community arguing about that? Allah is clear. So I want all my Sunnah follower kids take screenshots so you can print out the PowerPoint at the end of the class and then staple it together, attach it to the book. Okay, so, and I want to hear everybody participate with the quiz afterwards. All right, so let's put the PowerPoint up. Okay, let me put this down and let's go to, is Latifah in here, y'all? AY, is Latifah in here? I don't know if she's in here or not. Why are they asking if Latifah's in here anyway?
No, she's not in here.
No, I don't know where Latifah is. She's not here yet, y'all. Why, is something wrong? We'll talk about it after class. Okay, let me put this in here. Okay, this is, y'all see the PowerPoint, right? Okay. And okay, y'all see that? We make it bigger, larger. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. So tonight what we're gonna do, and it just shows how Allah is in control of this website, that this brother delivered my drink today and asked me about this, and it's on the curricula for the day. Today we're covering pages 392 to 395 in the book. If you got the book, which you all should have it, open up the page to page 392. We're going to discuss how to implement allegiance and disassociation in regards to our Islamic dietary laws. Okay, y'all see that? Take a screenshot. Pages 392. But there's going to be a quiz on this, and we shouldn't be arguing over this in 2024. So, girl, don't that look good? Lamb chops. Now y'all got me wanting some lamb. Okay. Oh, that looks good. Lamb chops, my favorite meat. Oh, and look at that, cracked peppercorn. It's got cracked peppercorn and salt on it. The sea salt. I can make some lamb chops now, y'all. Okay. In multicultural societies, we have different culinary traditions. But it doesn't matter where we live as Muslims. Allah has set the dietary laws for us. Remember, when it comes to the lawful and the unlawful, only Allah has the authority to tell us what we cannot do. So if someone comes to you and says, Astaghfirullah, Sister Laila, you cannot eat those lamb chops because they're not lawful. They're not halal. Really? Why are they not halal? And then they'll tell you, oh, because they're not Zabihah. This is what I call the Arabic game. What Western Muslims do when they don't understand their religion, they play the Arabic game. They don't understand the meaning of Arabic anyway because they don't speak the language, but they think that it's a difference. They'll say, that's not halal. Those lamb chops right there, Layla, they look good, but they're not halal. Astaghfirullah, it's haram to eat them. Why come I can't eat them? They're not Zabihah. What does Zabihah have to do with being halal? So let's break down what is halal and what is Zabihah. Here we go. Halal meat. First of all, halal is an Arabic word. And one of the things that I tell all my students, Arabic is not a religion. Arabic is just a language. It's a language just like French, Spanish, English, Portuguese, whatever. Just because a person knows how to speak Arabic does not mean that they go into paradise. Let's throw that out the door. Also, for those uneducated Muslims that tell you that the language of paradise is Arabic, tell them, where's their dalil? There is no verse of the Quran, nor is there any hadith on this planet that's authentic that says Allah says the only language in paradise is Arabic. First of all, Allah himself tells us in the Quran that nothing in this world resembles anything in paradise. Y'all understand that? Even though something may have the same name, it won't be the same. Just like you and I won't even look the same. The Arabic that most Arabs speak today is broke down slang. You think that's going to be the language of paradise? So, Arabic is a language. It's not a religion. So when you guys come upon these Arabic terms, just like you treat it like you would treat French, Spanish, Swahili, or any other language. Look up the meaning. Well, the word halal translates into English to mean lawful. It means permissible. In other words, it means it's okay for me to do it. Allah said that I can do it. That's what halal means. Halal means Allah says you can do it. So you're telling me that these lamb chops are not lawful for me. These lamb chops are not permissible for me. Then where's your dalil? Okay? So when we talk about halal meat, we're talking about meat that Allah made lawful for us to eat. That means the meat has to come from an animal that Allah says we can eat. Lamb chops come from a lamb. Allah says in the Quran that lamb is cattle. Cattle is permissible. Cattle is permissible. All cattle is. I can eat a lamb. I can eat a sheep. I can eat a cow. So what do you mean I can't eat this? That it's not lawful? In a broader sense, the Arabic word halal refers to what Allah tells us in the Quran, which is the meat of the people of the book. And who are the people of the book? The people of the book are people whom Allah sent a book of revelation to. And Allah tells us in the Quran that those are the Christians and Jews along with us. And Allah tells us in the Quran in clearness, in clear words, He says, lawful for you is the food of the people of the book. And lawful for them is your food too. So how can you tell me that I bought them from a Christian store? I went to a Christian meat store. They're Christian. Is the food of the Christians. That's what halal means. It means you can do it. So who are you to tell me that this is haram when Allah said it's lawful? I got it from a Christian meat store, a store owned by a Christian man living in a Christian country that slaughters their food. Allah says that is permissible. So if I had a Jewish meat store and next to that store was a Christian meat store, and next to that store was a Muslim-owned meat store, which one is lawful? Which one is halal? All of them are halal. I can choose to eat the Christian meat. I can choose to eat the Jewish meat, or I can choose to eat the Muslims' meat. All of that meat is halal. Does everybody understand that? And I'm breaking it down in plain, simple, grassroots English. America is a Christian country. Giant Eagle is a Christian-owned store. Zyman's is a Jewish-owned kosher store. And Abdullah's is a Muslim-owned store. I can buy my meat from any of them. Y'all understand that? Where I live in Cleveland, we have a very, very, very large Arabic community. We have a very, very, very large Orthodox Jewish community. We have a very large Amish community. So we got all that meat here. We got kosher stores. I prefer kosher. I really do. They meat tastes good, man. I'm sorry. They clean. We got Amish stores that sell chicken and turkey. I prefer their chicken. I prefer the Amish people. They're Christians. They got the cleanest chicken, the best turkey. And when it comes to my lamb and goat, I prefer the Arab-owned stores. Because can't nobody do a lamb and a goat like an Arab can. I'm sorry. Throw in a camel too, and you really got it going on. Hello? So all these stores are lawful. All the meat is halal. So that brings us to the next question. What is Zabihah? What is Zabihah meat? Let me break it down. Zabihah is an Arabic term that refers to how we kill the animal, how the animal is killed. Allah tells us in the Quran that lawful for us is the food of the people of the book. The people of the book, they all have their different fiqh regulations. The Jews, when they slaughter their animals, they have to slaughter a certain way. They have to have a rabbi present and all of that. The Christians don't have any guidelines. And then for us Muslims, we have our fiqh regulations too. We have to implement Zabihah. Zabihah. When we slaughter, that means we have to say Bismillah and then slaughter in a quick way, in a humane way, to cut the animal so that the animal doesn't suffer. That's Zabihah. Zabihah is an Arabic word that refers to how the animal was killed. It has nothing to do with whether the animal is lawful, whether the meat is lawful or not. Y'all understand the difference? Zoomers, tell me. Zabihah does not mean lawful. Zabihah does not mean unlawful. Zabihah means the way you slaughter. That's the fiqh regulation. That's the rule, the guidelines as to how we are supposed to slaughter our animals. And Allah tells us in another verse of the Quran, when you slaughter your animal, he's talking to us. That verse about cutting it, cutting the throat, that's not for the Christians and Jews. That's for us. That's our fiqh regulation. And the blood is drained from the veins. And by the way, the Jews do that too. The Orthodox Jews, they slaughter at the jugular vein, and the blood is drained completely from their meat. They can't leave any blood in. Okay? So, Zabihah, since it's an Arabic word that refers to how we slaughter, that means it's always lawful because it's our fiqh regulation. Whenever I kill a cow, whenever I kill a goat, whenever I kill a sheep, I'm going to abide by the laws of Allah and say Bismillah and then slaughter it in a humane way. So Zabihah is always lawful. But is all other meat lawful? Of course not. Because even though Allah tells us in the Quran that we can eat the food of the people of the book, Allah also tells us we can't eat meat that's been dead. We can't eat an animal that was found dead on the road. Okay? We can't eat an animal that died from falling off a cliff. So the animal might be lawful. I can eat a cow. I can eat a sheep. But if that sheep or cow died from falling off a cliff, or if it was road meat, I can't eat it. Y'all understand the difference? So all Zabihah is lawful because it refers to how you slaughter. You have to abide by the fiqh rules of Allah. But I may go to a store and buy some meat that can be beef or cattle, but it's not lawful because the person that's selling it to me picked it up off the road. Y'all understand that? That's the difference. So we got some Muslims that eat only Zabihah. What does that mean? That means they only eat meat that was slaughtered by the rules of Islam. They will only eat meat from a Muslim butcher. They won't go to the Jewish butcher. They won't go to the Amish butcher. They'll only eat from the Muslim butcher. And that's putting a lot of trust in him because Muslims are just as crooked today too. Y'all know that. We've heard the stories of going into so-called Zabihah Muslim-owned stores, and you find out that the meat that they selling, they bought from the Kafir store. Yeah. Like I said, that's one of the signs of the last hour. Truthfulness. Just like we can't trust our children to go to a Muslim school and be protected, I can't even trust that the meat I'm buying from a Zabihah Muslim-owned store is Zabihah. Because a lot of times that meat is not killed by the Muslim. It was killed by the Kafir, and they brought it in their store and cleaned it up and put a price tag on it. Oh, that happens a lot. I busted people doing that. Oh, yeah. All right. So some Muslims may only eat Zabihah, and other people are more flexible. Other people say, well, I don't care. Allah said it's lawful, so I'm going to eat from the Christians. I'm going to eat from the Jews, and I'm going to eat from the Muslims. That's what the Prophet did. That's what the companions did. The companions didn't have a problem. When Islam spread through the Roman Empire, when the Romans would invite the companions to eat, as Abu Dar said, aren't they Christians? Yes, you can eat their food. Didn't Allah say their food is lawful? As Ibn Abbas had to tell some people when Islam spread through Mesopotamia, aren't they Christians? Allah says their food is lawful. Okay, so why is it that we have Muslims in the communities arguing and fighting over this? Ponder these words of Allah. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, O you who believe, partake of the wholesome things that we have provided for you, and give thanks to Allah if you truly worship him alone. This verse of the Quran is what a lot of Muslims who try to use, including myself, I'll eat anything that Allah said is lawful. I don't care if it's from the Christian, I don't care if it's from the Jew, and I don't care if it's from the Muslim, because as an investigator who worked in that field before, I've seen Muslims do some shady stuff. I've been to Muslim Zabihah stores, and the meat had flies and maggots on it. So they ain't no different. I'm sorry. So I try to find the cleanest, most wholesome meat. And for me, it's kosher. I prefer kosher over anything because they got so many guidelines. That meat is so clean. That meat is drained. I mean, them rabbis are there. I personally prefer kosher. And then when it comes to poultry, I told you I prefer the Amish. Okay. And all other foods like vegetables, fruits, I go organic. Even the coffee I drink. Y'all know I love my Starbucks. I drink organic. The coffee I make at home, organic. I like the wholesome things that Allah has provided for us. Okay? And so a lot of people who like to stay wholesome, they stick with Zabihah. But you got to be careful. Stores are truly Zabihah because I have busted them doing some crazy stuff. We have to remember as Muslims that the only thing that Allah has forbidden us in regards to meat is pork. Also, He has forbidden from us to eat roadkill. Also, He has forbidden for us to eat blood directly from an animal. And He's also forbidden for us to eat some meat that we know for a fact, that you know for a fact, was dedicated to someone other than Allah. And that's the key. Islam is a show me religion. Islam is a prove religion. I don't want to hear your opinion. Prove to me that Christian-owned store killed or something in the name of Jesus. You can't prove that. Just like the companions couldn't prove that the meat that they were eating from a tribe that had just converted was not killed in the name of an idol. The prophet said, you say Bismillah and eat it. Allah doesn't hold us accountable for what we don't know. And nor does Allah command us to investigate either. This is important. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what's the source? Sahih Bukhari. When the Prophet gave shahada to these pagans who had come, this pagan tribe of Arabs that converted to Islam, to celebrate, they made some meat and served it to the Prophet and the companions. Ibn Abbas said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, they just took shahada. We don't know if when they killed these animals that they dedicated them to their God." The Prophet didn't tell Ibn Abbas to go ask the people. He didn't say, "Go, hey, come here. When did you kill this meat?" The Prophet said in a nice low tone so as not for the servers to hear him. He said, "We say Bismillah and then we eat it." That hadith is Sahih Bukhari. No one on this planet can issue a fatwa or an Islamic verdict that contradicts him. He didn't say go investigate. He didn't say get on the telephone and find out where the meat came from. He said just say Bismillah. He could have easily said, "Hey, y'all come here. Tell me, was this meat killed before y'all converted?" He didn't ask that. He said, "You say Bismillah." Y'all see, the religion is easy. Allah made this deen easy for us. Allah said that the Christians will always be a majority over us. So Allah knew that most of the world will be Christian. Most of the world would claim to be a Christian. Look how easy that is. That means most countries, no matter where you live, except for China and places like that, Vietnam, Korea, most countries in the world are Christian countries. So that means you can eat their food. And nowhere did Allah say you have to investigate. You have to stick your big nose in people's business. Like the Prophet said, some of you will keep on asking questions till you end up making things haram. The religion ain't like that. We are a religion of balance, brothers and sisters. Okay? So if you choose to eat Zabihah, that means if you choose to eat meat that was only slaughtered by the laws of Allah, that's your business. That's good. That's lawful. But if you choose to eat the meat of the people of the book, that's lawful too. Like I said, who's the role model? Nobody understood this deen better than the prophet and those companions. If they ate the meat of the Christians, if they ate the meat of the Jews, and they're better than you and me, they will be in paradise. Who do you think you are, trying to tell the rest of the Muslims in the world to not buy meat from a Christian-owned grocery store? I'm sorry, brothers. Y'all better get it together. You wonder why Allah sent the war. Turned away from traditional Islam. We've done what the Prophet said we would do. We've allowed our scholars and learned men to issue Islamic verdicts that go against what Allah said, that go against what the Prophet said, that go against the understanding of those originals. I don't care what Imam so-and-so said. I don't care what Sheikh Kamadama doesn't said. Ibn Abbas said, aren't they Christians? Umar said, aren't they Christians? And if they ate it, who are you to tell me I can't? So this is a moot issue. This issue about the meat is moot because Allah is clear. We can eat their meat and they can eat ours. Now, if you know for a fact, like say, for example, you know, when they did that investigation where I used to live and found out for a fact that the Muslims that owned that so-called Zabihah store were buying their meat from Kroger. That's what they were doing. They were going to Kroger, buying all the steaks and stuff from Kroger and selling them in their store. It was a big investigative report where I used to live on that. If you know for a fact somebody is selling something that's haram or doing something haram, then we don't do it. Y'all understand? And also with these verses, you see what makes Zabihah better is the fact that we're humane too. You know, we care about the animal. You know, we slaughter in a good way. We don't let the animal see us sharpen the knife. We're gentle. So that's another reason why a lot of Muslims choose to go Zabihah too, because of course our fiqh are the best. But you can't tell me that I'm going to hell or that I'm committing a sin because I choose to eat the meat from Kroger, the meat from Giant Eagle, the meat from Salmon Shop. Okay? So now we get to the quiz. Let's see how well you guys can answer these questions. First question. Muslims should only eat Zabihah because this is what Allah commands in the Quran. Is that statement true or false? We should only eat Zabihah and nothing else because Allah says that. Is that statement true or false?
False.
Everybody agree with her answer?
Yes.
So you brothers, especially you brothers of the Dawah, telling Muslims that they going to hell, they can't eat McDonald's. Who said that? Did Allah say I can't eat McDonald's? It's a Christian land. It's their Christian meat. They're people of the book. Stop telling Muslims that. Who are you to make up the laws and change Allah's laws? You are no different than the Zionists. What did the Zionists do? They took the books of Allah and changed them. Let their priests and monks change them. And that's what you so-called wannabe learned men are doing. You trying to make something haram for the people. Well, you got Laila Nasheeba here who ain't going to allow it. As long as Allah keeps my heart pumping, I'm going to always speak out against those of you who try to make this religion ugly and hard on the Muslims. That's why I don't teach in Arabic. I teach in English because most of the world speaks English. And I don't play the Arabic game, even though I do understand the basic Fusha. Stop playing with the people. Stop trying to change Allah's laws. Ain't nothing wrong with McDonald's. Ain't nothing wrong with Burger King. Ain't nothing wrong with Wendy's. Ain't nothing wrong with TGIF. Ain't nothing wrong with Red Lobster. Y'all better stop getting it twisted. Like Umar, radiallahu anhu, said, aren't they people of the book? When they sent the letter to Umar, after Islam had defeated the Romans, can we eat their meat? Umar said, how dare you send me this letter? Aren't they people of the book? Isn't Allah clear? All right, next question. Your sister lives in America and buys her beef from Walmart. She invites you to her home, but you refuse, telling her the meat she buys is not lawful. Is this correct? Why or why not? What do y'all think?
No, it's not correct. Walmart is a Christian store, so you can eat the food that's coming from Walmart.
Exactly. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And for you Muslims who ask such a question, here's the last question. Is it from the manners of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions to ask another Muslim if their meat is lawful or not? Is it? What do y'all think? Is this the way Muslims behave? Did the Prophet Muhammad teach us that if a Muslim invites you to his home, you ask if his meat is lawful? Is this from the tradition of the Prophet Muhammad and his companions? What do y'all think?
No, it's false.
Exactly. This is false. So you Muslims who go around asking other Muslims if their food is halal or not, you are sick. That's an insult. That's the same as asking me, do I really believe in Allah? How dare you ask another Muslim that? How dare you insult your brother and sister in Islam? You better not ever come to my house and ask me that. You might not have no teeth to bite down on anything with. Hello? And if you got dentures, you might lose them. Okay? So I hope I put to rest this debate that the brother was telling me about. And I mean, I can't believe that Muslims are still debating this issue when Allah is clear. We don't accept what Allah says, even when it's right there in our face. Even when we got all these many hadiths of the companions eating the food of the Christians and Jews, you're going to say, well, the Prophet, he was poisoned by who? You just learned that yesterday. What food did the Prophet die from? He was eating from a Jew. He didn't ask her, was her food Zabihah? I mean, come on, Muslims, we got to get it together. We got to get back to the traditional Islam. Until we get back to the traditional Islam, Allah is going to continue to send war, to send earthquakes, to send hurricanes. They got a hurricane in Texas. Allah says, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whenever we deviate away from Allah's laws and replace them with our own, you can always expect Allah to send war, Allah to send earthquakes, Allah to send hurricanes, and all other kind of calamities to you. And a lot of those brothers, a lot of the brothers who tell y'all that you have to eat Zabihah, where do they live at? And they call themselves scholars. Hello, can anybody answer that question? I'm talking about in America. For those brothers in America that's on that platform talking about eat Zabihah or you going to hell, can y'all tell me, and they call themselves scholars, can y'all tell me where the majority of them are located at? Texas! Why is it that Texas keeps getting hurricanes? Why is it that Texas keeps getting blizzards? They keep getting floods. They keep getting all of this nonsense. Stop issuing fatwas that go against what Allah say, and stop pretending to be scholars. You ain't no scholar. Because no true scholar in this deen would make a law that contradicts Allah. I keep telling y'all, ain't no scholars in America. How many times have I told y'all Muslims that? Well, we got two. We got two scholars in America. Okay? That's it. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Are there any questions or comments?
Broke it down, Layla, but they still don't understand.
Yeah,
Still fight.
But I did my job. I tell y'all what, on the day of judgment, no, not day of judgment, when you in your grave, those angels are going to say, didn't Laila Nasheeba tell you? But you chose to not listen. You can't say you didn't know, because I've talked about it. You all know now. You can't say, oh, Allah didn't know that I was committing a sin, telling people it's haram to eat the people of the book's food. He's going to say you a liar. Laila Nasheeba gave a lecture on July 8th, 2024 at 7 o'clock p.m. Sister Laila gave a whole lecture on it, and she broke it down. Okay? I get my reward, inshallah, for breaking it down. And it's going to come right back at you. So now you keep on going around telling people that we can't eat the meat of the people of the book in America. Stop telling people that lie. Who are you? You ain't nobody. You're stupid. You're twisted up here. Something's wrong with you. Okay? All right. Any other questions or comments?
Sister Laila?
Yes.
What is Kroger?
That's a grocery store.
Oh, okay, thank you.
It's not on the West Coast. It's only on certain parts of the East Coast. Just like y'all got a Piggy Wiggy. I ain't never seen a Piggy Wiggies ain't on the East Coast. They only on the West Coast. Yeah. All right. Any other comments? Yeah. Okay, yes, my next class is the signs of the last hour. And I'm going to be going into more detail about the Mahdi. And that's going to be at 9:30. That class will be at, 9:30 tonight, because I got prayer. I have to pray at 9:15 or something. So make sure everybody's back here. Oh, yeah, that's why all them hurricanes. Girl, Texas been, for the past 6 years, 7 years, Texas been going through a lot, ain't they? Ain't that where all of them brothers claim to be scholars are? So many, all the imams down there claim to be scholars. Really? All right. Okay, I'll be back at 9 p.m. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wait a minute, what's your question? Did she have a question? I don't see it. Did anybody know what her question was? All right, hold on. Let me see if I can, on my streaming program. But if we buy from a non-Muslim butcher, what can we do about it? Oh, sister, come on. Stop making the religion hard on yourself. That's just like me saying, but. What did the Prophet Muhammad tell the companions? All this but. But what if I die? But what if this? Where does Allah say in the Quran? Like I went over that. Does Allah say that we have to investigate? Did the Prophet Muhammad tell Ibn Abbas to ask those people, was the meat contaminated with the meat that they did mention Allah's name over? I already answered that. Nowhere does Allah tell us that we have to do that. You understand? And I'm glad you asked that question, Rashida. Do the rest of y'all understand that? Nowhere does Allah say you have to investigate to see if anything was contaminated. Nowhere did the Prophet tell the companions to investigate. Nowhere. So they weighed the meat on scales back in the days of the Prophet Muhammad. We can keep going through this, Sister Rashida. How do you think they sold meat? They weighed it on scales. Did the Prophet tell the companions to ask those people, the meat that they served, was it weighed on the same scales as the meat that they sacrificed to their pagan god? We have to stop making this religion hard. That's what Shaitan wants us to do. We have the example of the Prophet and his companions, and you got the words of Allah. Nowhere does Allah say lawful for you is the food of the people of the book, but make sure you investigate to make sure it doesn't become contaminated. Make sure that it's weighed on a different scale. Do you think Allah is stupid? Do y'all think that Allah doesn't know that meat is weighed on a scale? Do y'all think that Allah doesn't know that meat can be placed next to each other? We say we believe in him. We say that we believe that Allah is the all-knowing. Then why are we questioning him? Y'all see that? Everything goes back to Tawheed, our faith. That's why the Prophet said, don't just say you believe in Allah. Be certain. Know that he knows the truth and knows what's best. How do you know? Allah says in the Quran, Rashida, he doesn't even punish you for what you don't know. So now you want to say Allah is a liar because it's a possibility that meat may have been weighed on the same scale as meat dedicated to an idol. Allah is a liar. He will hold me accountable. Do you really believe in Allah? I'm not asking you, but I'm just saying this is how we fight the shaitan. When your personal jinn comes and whispers in your heart to get you to question Allah, to question his laws, to question his commands, doubt, as the Prophet Muhammad told the companions, doubt comes from shaitan. When those doubtful thoughts and feelings come, say A'udhu Billahi. Allah said what he said, and that's the end of it. It ain't my job to figure out how it was weighed, what was next to it. And by the way, Allah don't hold me accountable anyway. And keep it moving. Y'all see that? So did I answer you, Sister Rashida, and the rest of the people here? Yeah. Yeah, and that's how Allah works with his punishment. Not the whole Texas. The part where that hurricane is, who lives there? Those are the masajids where the brothers call themselves scholars, Sister Sakina. You're not near them brothers. Thank God. Alhamdulillah, you're good people. Yeah. Sister Rashida, all of that is coming from Shaitan, right? What did the prophet tell you to do? Whenever you say maybe, 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 what did the prophet say do? Say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, and keep it moving. Again, I cannot lie on Allah. I'm not going to do like these famous men do and make up verses of the Quran. Allah does not tell us to investigate. Allah doesn't tell us to go see what another customer did. Allah doesn't tell us that. So I can't lie to you and make up a verse. If you see it, then what do you think? What did we talk about in today's class? If you know for a fact, then what do? That was already answered in the class. What did we say about if you know for a fact? What do? Then you avoid it. But if you don't know, Sister Rashida, if you shopping at a place and you see somebody putting pork, just like I did, when I went to that Muslim-owned store and saw them taking the meat, the ground beef out of Kroger packages and putting it in what they call was Zabihah, I said, you a liar. I see you. I ain't buying this crap, and you keep it moving. Do you understand the answer? If you see it, of course, what does your common sense tell you to do? Don't buy from them crazy people. Keep it moving. Other stores out there. Any other questions? We can go around and around and around, but you are not going to get me to sit here and tell y'all that it's haram to eat from the people of the book. I'm not that type of person. I don't lie on Allah. Next question. Any other questions? All right. Make sure you guys are here at 9. Yeah. And y'all see how I shut that down, sisters? Yeah, you see the sister here saying that they try to argue this in their mosque. You see how I shut that down? You just tell them you're not going to get me. You can come up with every scenario in the world. I am not going to sit here and tell you that Allah is a liar. Common sense should tell you if you see something, then you don't do it. We're talking about what you don't know. The prophet didn't know. The companions didn't know. So what did he tell them? Say Bismillah. Now, if they did know, that's something different. Your common sense would tell you if I know that you spitting on my food, I ain't buying this food. If I knew that you were spitting on my hamburger, you think I'm gonna buy that hamburger? But if I don't know, Bismillah and keep it moving. But don't let the people try to get you, to change Allah's laws for them. No, we ain't here to do that. I'm here to teach. I ain't here to change, to satisfy, pacify nobody. Yeah, go ahead, Sister Miss Jackson. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, sweetie. Yeah, that happens too. You go and buy a drink, people spit in it. You think I'm gonna buy something and I know somebody spit in it? Ugh. Yeah, go ahead. Where do you get your hijabs and abayas on Amazon? Oh, I don't get these off of Amazon. These that you see right here, these are called pashimas. You can get these off of Etsy. They come in all different styles, colors, sizes. These are called pashimas. That's what these are. And you can get these off of Etsy. Let me type it. Just go Etsy and just type pashimas and they'll pop up. All different kinds. Now the abayas, just type abaya. Go to Amazon and type abaya. Just go to Amazon, type the word abaya, and you will see all different kinds. But this one, the ones I've been wearing, these are not from Amazon. These are from my Somali students. These are Somali kaftans. And my students send me these. Yeah, the ones I've been have on today, and that looks like this with the African design. When y'all see me with the African design, these are from my Somalis. My Somali students give me these. Yeah. Sister Rashida, I think I already answered the question. There's nothing in Islam that says, where does Allah say in the Quran? Does Allah say because the Christians sell pork, we can't eat from them? Does Allah say that because the Christians also eat chicken, we can't eat from them? I'm going to repeat to you what Umar repeated to the people. Are they not still the same people of the book? Back in the 6th century, the butcher sold lamb, goat, chicken, boar all together. The same way butchers sell today, Sister Rashida, they've always sold food like that. So what's different? We can go back and forth, back and forth. The law is still the law. And if you don't want to accept it, Rashida, like we talked about in today's class, if you want to be Zabihah, then you go be Zabihah. But don't tell other Muslims that they are going to hell because they obey Allah and eat from the people of the book too. That's the point. That's what today's class was about, guys. Some people choose to be Zabihah, but you better be careful because Zabihah ain't Zabihah either. Okay? We're living in the days in which trust has gone. We can't even trust our Muslim kids to go to Muslim schools without getting molested. So you putting all that trust that Muslim man is not selling you some meat from Kroger when it's been proven that a lot of them are doing it? That's your business. But the bottom line is you cannot say that it's haram for that sister there to eat from the people of the book because Allah said she can. And as I just told y'all today and gave y'all Dalil, the companions did too. So let's not fall in the same category as the Christians, where we want to change the religion. We want to take away the fact that Allah allows us to eat the food of the people of the book. We want to take away the fact that Allah allows a man to have more than one wife. We want to take away the fact that Allah allows a man to marry a Christian woman too. Y'all ain't got a problem with the men marrying Christian women. Why y'all got a problem with the men eating their food? They can eat the women, but not the meat. It's kind of hypocrisy. Y'all ain't got a problem with the men eating the Christian women, but you got a problem with them eating the Christian food? Oh! See what happens? We look like idiots. We have to accept what Allah says and keep it moving. Yeah, y'all understand? Yeah. Okay. So, Sister Rashida, it's okay. You know, if you got a good Muslim store, you buy your food there. Get alhamdulillah. But there's a lot of people that don't have no Muslim-owned stores. And Allah knows His creation. That's why Allah said it's lawful. Now, we just can't, that's your opinion, your choice. Any other questions? Okay, let's see. So, yeah, so Miss Jackson, just type abaya. Go to Amazon and type the word abaya, or you can type kaftan. You will see a lot of beautiful caftans on Amazon for cheap. But these that I have on is from my Somali students. I got a bunch of them in all different colors. I got about five or six red ones. I love red. And I got a bunch of I think this one is from Habiba. Habiba sent me this one. Yeah. Okay, guys. So 9 o'clock, the signs of the last hour. I'll be 9:30. 9:30, I'll log back in with the signs of the last hour. Okay. We're gonna talk about the Mahdi. So subhanakala homo wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka